Welcome to another episode of AI 10X, brought to you by 10 Leaves.
Glad to be here for this one.
Yeah, I want you to imagine your body's nervous system for a second.
Okay.
You walk around all day, totally oblivious to the millions of electrical signals just flashing from your brain to your fingertips.
Right. It's completely invisible to us.
Exactly. It's constantly adjusting your balance, regulating your temperature. You don't actually notice that incredibly complex network until something goes wrong.
Like a glitch in the system.
Yeah, like until your foot falls asleep or, I don't know, you stub your toe.
Yeah.
And global logistics is basically the planet's nervous system.
That's a really good analogy.
Right. Trillions of dollars of goods, millions of shipping containers, fleets of aircraft. It all works in concert to keep human civilization functioning. But today we're diving into how that planetary nervous system is being, radically upgraded.
A massive upgrade, yeah.
So our mission for today's deep dive, looking at this brief but really dense excerpt called the intelligence layer, is to unpack how these invisible networks keep the world moving, making them faster, smarter, and more resilient for you, the listener. So how is AI upgrading this massive global nervous system?
Well, my role today is to really try and connect the dots on how AI transforms a notoriously rigid industry into something highly dynamic.
Because it is a heavy physical industry, right?
Very much so. Historically, it's always been defined by rigid physical infrastructure. Massive container ships, concrete deep-water ports, fixed rail lines.
Yeah, dead steel and concrete.
Exactly. And that physical infrastructure, it isn't going away, but layering artificial intelligence over those assets transforms the entire paradigm.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because before a product can even be shipped across the globe, a business must know that the product is actually needed, right? We have to start at anticipating demand.
Right, which is the absolute origin point of logistics.
So instead of a store manager just, guessing how many umbrellas to stock based on last year's sales, is AI essentially acting like a crystal ball that optimizes inventory by knowing exactly what you will need before you even realize you need it?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And what's fascinating here is the shift from reactive to proactive logistics.
Okay, so it's not actually magic.
No, it's not magic. It's about moving away from historical guesswork to precise optimization.
Which fundamentally changes things.
Completely. It completely redefines how businesses handle their inventory. Because the old model was all about just-in-case strategy. You'd stockpile massive amounts of safety stock just to avoid running out.
Which just ties up huge amounts of capital.
Oh, massive amounts.
Oh.
But the AI, it looks at shifting probabilities in real time. It's looking at non-obvious correlations.
So it's not just saying, oh, people bought this last year, so they'll buy it again.
No, not at all.
I get.
It isolates variables a human would never connect, like maybe a dip in commercial real estate construction in one region, cross-reference with social media trends.
Wow, so really distinct data streams.
Exactly. And it predicts demand so accurately that businesses can run incredibly lean.
But I mean, knowing what is needed is really only step one.
Right. Then you actually have to move it.
Yeah, and actually moving those goods globally introduces chaos. I mean, raw physical chaos.
Weather, geopolitical borders, all of it.
Right. So the AI manages this chaos by consuming this specific diet of real-time data, shipping, weather, markets. But here's where it gets really interesting, at least to me.
Okay, what's that?
Well, humans have always had weather reports, right? We've had market trends and shipping schedules.
We've had Bloomberg terminals and Doppler radar for years.
Exactly. So what makes AI's analysis of this data fundamentally different from, a human logistician just looking at a radar screen and a spreadsheet?
It comes down to sheer scale and synthesis.
The synthesis.
Yeah. The AI doesn't just look at a storm in isolation.
Like a human would. A human sees the storm and just reroutes the ship, right?
Right. The human solves the localized problem. But they haven't calculated the ripple effect of that 2-day delay they just caused.
Because our brains just can't process that many variables.
Exactly. We simply can't simultaneously hold and optimize thousands of cascading variables. But the AI cross-references the real-time weather with active shipping routes and sudden market fluctuations, all simultaneously.
So it's looking at everything at once.
Yes. It instantly calculates the most efficient logistics plan to reduce inefficiencies in a way human brains simply can't process.
It's like operating a complete digital twin of the entire global economy.
That's the perfect way to look at it. It simulates endless possible scenarios in milliseconds to find the mathematically optimal path through all that chaos.
Wow. Okay, so because AI is constantly digesting this real-time shipping, weather, and market data, it unlocks this ultimate capability, right? Neutralizing problems before they even materialize.
Yes, it becomes highly adaptable.
So what does this all mean for the global economy? I mean, let's say AI sees a disruption forming. Does it essentially allow a business to pivot instantly, effectively disarming a global supply chain crisis before it even happens?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is exactly why AI is referred to as the intelligence layer of global commerce.
Because it's acting before the crisis hits.
Exactly. It's not just about efficiency anymore. It's about adaptability.
Right, because we've all seen what happens when rigid supply chains break.
Oh, it's catastrophic. The whole system seizes up. But in a complex global economy, the ability to respond to change rapidly makes the difference between a resilient supply chain and a completely broken one.
So it detects the precursors to a disruption, like a port strike or something.
And before human logistics managers even schedule a meeting to talk about the threat, the AI has already dynamically diverted incoming ships to other ports.
It just abandons the static contracts and reroutes the physical assets in real time. That's incredible.
It really is. It buys the supply chain precious time to catch up.
Distributing the stress across the whole network.
Exactly. So no single node breaks under the pressure.
Man, so just to summarize this deep dive for everyone listening, AI is fundamentally rewiring global commerce.
It truly
By
is.
predicting demand, analyzing real-time weather and shipping data, and foreseeing disruptions, it's acting as this invisible intelligence layer, keeping the world's economy moving smoothly.
But, there is a catch to all of this.
Oh.
A catch.
Yeah. Something for you all to think about. If global commerce becomes entirely reliant on this single, hyper-efficient AI intelligence layer to prevent disruptions.
Right, because we're phasing out all the manual workarounds.
Exactly. So what happens to global logistics if that intelligence layer itself experiences a disruption?
Oh.
Yeah, if a cyber event or a glitch momentarily blinds this digital twin, what happens to the physical world?
That is a terrifying and brilliant final thought to mull over. The ultimate single point of failure. Well, next up on the docket, we will be exploring AI in insurance. Thank you for listening to another episode of AI 10X brought to you by 10 Leaves.